boys, hit me. All over the world, let's bring it together. Love, peace, happiness. Everybody sing. Love, peace, happiness. Come on, sing now. Love, peace, happiness. Oh, love, peace, happiness. Said I ain't gonna cry no more. Too much love around here to show. You and I, we clearly know. Some days are high, some days are low. Everlasting love we can make. Come and share this great moment in my life. Are you good? You know we can't do that twice. Ultimately, I've got to live unashamed. No shame, no shame. Do you got it? Yes, I got it. Love, peace, happiness. Anybody got it? Love, peace, happiness. Y'all listen, I feel good. Everybody say I feel good. Yeah, say I feel good. Everybody say I feel good. Yeah, come on, let's take it home. Hey, ultimately, I've got to live unashamed. No shame, no shame. Do you got it? Yes, I got it. I wanna know, do you got it? Love, peace, happiness. Love, peace, happiness. Everybody all over the world say love. Say love, peace, happiness. Oh, say love, peace. What about the world can sing this, y'all? Yeah, come on. Come on. Come on. Woo! Everybody having a good time tonight? Come on, man, gotta do it real good. We gotta get out of here, but we love ya. Yeah.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back, bringing lyrics to life, live and in color. What's going on? We missed y'all. It seemed like we ain't been on for a while, but we be on every week. It be a long week.
It's just been 7 days.
It's been a long week. What's going on with you, Naya?
Hey, y'all. Hey.
Listen, y'all, we got a special guest here on the show tonight. We wanted to do something a little different, but still doing what we do with bringing lyrics to life, right? So we have a good friend of mine.
Yes, sir.
I've been partnered with him in radio. I don't even know how many years it's been.
I think I was calculating over maybe 10 years.
Yeah,
now,
it's definitely been over 10 years. But he is a subject matter expert in broadcasting.
Thank you.
He has a book with principles on broadcasting.
That's correct.
As his own radio show.
2 shows.
2 shows. yes, 2 different
Talk
shows.
about it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Simone Malone.
Well, thank you, Chris, and thank you, Nick. I am delighted to be on your show here. This is absolutely wonderful. This setup. Congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
And
Thank
to
you.
all
Thank
of the
you.
networks that are. We're excited about that as well. So congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me to be on this program. I love the title of the show as well.
Yeah.
Tell me again the title. I love it.
Bringing lyrics to life.
Bringing lyrics to life. That's
Bringing
so
lyrics to
so
life.
key for many artists.
It
Bringing
is.
lyrics to life. Yeah.
So tonight we have Simone here because what we want to do is we want to give you all the background of this thing, right? The industry of broadcasting, media, music. So to my fellow podcasters, to artists, current artists, up and coming artists, to producers, to engineers, we're going to talk about production. We're going to talk about quality sound. We're going to talk about how to get your music aired and get it on different shows. This is a wealth of knowledge.
Oh, stop it.
Sitting here.
Thank you.
So we're gonna pick your brain. So
Not a problem.
to all of our listeners, all of our viewers, we appreciate your support, and I'm encouraging you. You know, we live for the comments. So comment, ask questions,
Yes.
anything that you have of Simone, Naya, myself. We all have different backgrounds in the industry as a whole,
Yeah.
from music to media to production. So any questions that you have, tonight is your night to learn how to set yourself up to be successful in this game.
I'm also here to learn. I'm just gonna listen.
Oh, don't be shy.
So Simone, first of all, let's talk about the book,
Sure. My manual.
the manual.
Yes.
Let's talk about the manual. Give them the title, let them know
Sure.
how they can get it, and then give a overview of
Sure.
what it's about. Don't give them too much.
I won't.
because we want them to buy it.
Right.
And they could get in my class.
And yes, and so let me. Are you still doing the class? Although
I do.
with COVID, are you doing
I'm-
virtual
yeah,
classes or?
I'm picking up. I have an intern working with me now.
Okay,
So
okay.
I do one-on-one training.
Okay.
And once again, for everybody that is watching, hello there. We're delighted that you can join us. I'm Simone Malone, the radio feel good man, a trusted and respected voice in the media. The name of the manual is called How to Become an Effective Radio Broadcaster, the Air Commandments of media.
Air commandments.
Just like commandments in the Bible, there are commandments that you must follow to be successful in the field of broadcasting.
Right.
And actually, Chris, this was, I'm used to saying Christian, but I'm going to say Chris.
You could say Christian, Chris.
This was actually created when I was in college back in 1991. So I
So this has
started.
been around for some time.
It's been around for some time. So the vision came to me back in 1991 when I attended Shaw University and graduated in 1995.
Okay.
So it started when I went to college at Shaw University. God gave me this vision because when I went to college, I already had experience in broadcasting. I had worked in radio coming out of high school and starting in high school.
Right.
So when I went to college, God just placed it in my spirit and gave me the vision of, learning with the education and how to become an effective radio broadcaster from my trainings and getting the college education, the do's and the don'ts.
Right. Right.
Because there are always do's and don'ts that we do. So it really started back then in 1991, and then I really put it together once I graduated from college in 1995.
Got you. Okay. One thing that you did say, you made a statement about internship.
Yes.
A lot of people don't believe in intern. Everybody wants to get paid and don't have any
That's
experience.
correct.
Just touch on that, talk on that just a little bit,
Sure.
because I know you do a lot with interns. And I will personally say, just from working with you over the years, from co-hosting on FMHDMS, I have learned
Thank you.
a lot in broadcasting, in radio. It even helped me develop my radio personality. So just touch on internship just a little bit. Let
Sure.
people know how important that it is,
Yeah.
and how it will get you a check.
That's right. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it is important that you do an internship no matter what your career is, because you learn from professionals or a professional that you're linked with
Yeah.
that will give you that exposure and experience And a lot of internships are free. Some of them are paid internships, but it's important that you do an internship as a young person that is growing up in the industry or whatever it is, so that you can get the proper training. You can learn from someone who's been in the industry for quite some time that will help you. I remember when I did an internship, they said, man, you don't really need this internship. You already have the experience. You've come here with this, but I had to do that in order to get to the next level that I wanted to do, and it certainly is a great thing. So I do encourage many of you, if you're learning in a certain specific field, and in particular what we're talking about tonight in broadcasting, you need to do an internship. It's something that I offer, and I also offer broadcast training classes that people pay to be in my class.
I was just going to mention that,
Yes.
yeah. So talk about all the different classes. Let people know, again, about the manual, about the classes, how to get connected with you.
Sure.
And then we'll dive into the do's, the don'ts, the ins, and the outs.
Right. Well, let me give you my contact information. You can reach me at Feel Good Man. That's Feel Good Man. It's all one word. Don't separate me. There's only one. Feel Good Man #1 at yahoo.com. My number to the studio, you can reach me at 215-224-4297. That's 215-224-4297. The website to the radio station, the studio that I own and operate, is www.fmhdmsradio.net. That's fmhdmsradio.net. HDMS stands for Horse Data Management Services. So you can contact me through that. Now my training classes, I do take an intern once a year through a college or university that is, going to school to become a broadcaster and get their degree, because that's very important. I have studied every course that you could take undergraduate and mastered it in broadcasting. What I do when people who are interested in learning this industry, and people who have maybe been in it and wanted to get back because they need to polish themselves up, just like we polish up our shoes, they got to be polished up. You can get in my class if you're interested. There's a fee for that, which includes the manual. But the good thing about getting in my class, which is a 2-month training, you have the opportunity to learn production and voice, do commercials and promos. You have at the end an opportunity to host one of my shows. So everything that I taught you from that training comes together, and you're able to host my show for a week, whether it's the gospel or the R&B. So again, if you're interested in finding out more details, I can send you that. You can reach me at 215-224-4297 or email me at feelgoodman. That's me, feelgoodman1 at yahoo.com.
The trusted and respected voice.
Well, you had a lot to do with that, and I marketed that. I came up with I didn't come up with the radio Feel Good Man. That was given to me some years ago.
Right.
But you kind of tagged me in about the trusted and respected, and I kind of brand that. And
yes.
I tell people I am one of the most trusted and respected voices, because there are other people out there that are trusted and respected. So I don't want them to think that I'm just it. I'm just one of them. But thank you so much, Chris.
No, I thank you. Like I said, it's been over 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. We've been doing
probably
radio
close 15.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And we've been doing all kinds of broadcasting, because we've
goodness.
moved the station. We made the station mobile. All right. We've done pop-up locations and hosted different
Live
events
remotes
together.
I've done
Live
for you.
remotes.
Yeah.
It's been a journey. It's
Yes.
been an awesome time. One of the things that I did want to talk about
Sure.
is because you have spotlighted, you have interviewed, you have played many mainstream artists on your show. And from being on the show and watching and learning how you strategically select what artist, what song to play, when to play it, when to cut it off, when to transition into another song. Give us those hints, right? Just flavorful hints, not too much.
I got you.
Because I really want to encourage the people to take the class.
Got you. I appreciate
I really do.
Thank
I
you.
really want to encourage you all to take the class and get the manual, especially if you're serious about doing this business. Whether it be broadcasting, whether you be an artist, and you just, because from managing artists, I teach them the business. I teach them the industry.
Right.
Because you need to learn how to strategically navigate through this thing to be successful.
That's right.
You know, you can have all the talent, you can have the you can have it all.
That's right. That's right.
But you can easily be looked over, screwed, undercut, whatever in this business. So I always teach the ins and outs. So if you are an artist, I know a lot of people who tune into our show are into music. They're either engineers or artists or writers. This is for you. This really is for you because it'll help you. It'll benefit you on even with your writing and your writing style. You know, how to write, how to stay fluent with the times, but not lose your identity. Things of that nature. So just touch on those things just a little bit as far as how to get music placed, and then even touch on how they can get on your show, on one of your shows, right? And how you go about strategically selecting, because some people, and you and I, we've seen it over the years, they'll throw you all kinds of dollars and checks and try to negotiate with you. I'll pay you this much money if you play my song. No, thank you. It doesn't fit the show.
Absolutely.
You know, and some people don't understand that. So just touch on that a little bit.
You know, it's really about quality, not quantity. One of the commandments in my manual is be prepared. So as an artist or an upcoming artist, an independent artist, you have to be prepared. You have to know really what you want to do. You have to realize that you have been first given a gift from God. So one of the things that I talk to people about is being prepared. Is this really something that you really want to do? Because there are so many areas that you need to build upon once you are properly prepared. But I want to specifically talk about artists being on my station or artists getting connected to internet radio. And I want to go back because I did a Facebook Live this morning sharing that internet radio really kicked up about 15 years ago. So it's relatively
a lot
new.
of people sleep on internet radio.
And we were one of the first stations, believe it or not, that started an internet radio station. We were just streaming music at that time. And then I met with Mr. Horsey, who's the CEO, and I came up with the vision for doing internet radio because terrestrial radio was changing 15 years ago. A lot of personalities were losing their jobs. Stations was changing the format. So we had to come up with...
Still changing the format.
Still doing
Constantly
it.
changing
Still doing it.
They ain't figured it out yet, Simone. They've been in the... Oh, let me shut up.
That's okay.
They've been in the industry for how long, and they're still changing the format and still... And you know, and I say that, and not as a hit or you know, a dart against anyone, but a lot of people sleep on internet radio, but it's internet radio that has actually created more ways for broadcasting to even exist.
Absolutely. It's given great opportunities for people who have lost their jobs or people who wanted to get into industry, and that's one of the things my station does is we train people, we bring people on, people who have very little experience and learn under me and then blossom into something unique. So the thing is that, you know, with internet radio and what I aim to do is to give people an opportunity, independent artists, for their music to be aired. I'm not so much concerned about the national artists. They've been on my show. They have the finances to back up what they do, even though they probably started independently. But a lot of independent artists don't have a lot of money. So, you know, internet radio is a way to get them out there at a reasonable fee. We are a commercial station, so we are a profit-making station, but at a reasonable fee that's not going to kill their pockets to get their music and information out there. Now, you know, I'm just not going to play anybody's music. And you know that coming from the perspective of marketing and things like that. The music has to be reviewed. It has to be quality. I'm not telling you that, you know, you did that recording in the basement of your house and think that it's going to air on a station. It's got to be packaged right. You got to have the quality that you need for it to be radio quality to air.
Press kits artists, press kits, they're still vital.
So the packaging and things like that is very, very key. You know, when you're putting your music together, I get music every day from independent artists, and they ask me to listen to it, and I actually tell them that this is not quality. I don't want to hurt their feelings. It's the respect that I have for the work that I do. To tell them you need to go back, maybe do that recording over and invest in yourself in order to get to the next level, at least to get it aired on a radio station.
Naya, I want you to chime in, right? So we're sitting here with a publisher, 15 books of,
Yes.
of her own that she has out and
Awesome.
published.
Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
has a publishing company. So from the writing aspect, what advice would you give writers and artists on how to write certain things? Because although radio, again, the format is changing again, but there's certain songs where you have your radio version and then you have the original version.
Correct.
And
Right.
you have to rewrite and edit, to
Right.
make it, suitable for radio. And then even with that, and I'll let the two of you tag team on this about time. Because if you got a 6-minute, 47-second song, that's not going to air.
That used to happen
Right.
years ago. They do them really
Right.
short. now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now you got a
Yeah.
time limit.
Right.
So go talk on that.
So for me, people have to be willing to put the work in. Like even with what Simone was saying, it takes a lot of effort and dedication, and you have to do research. Like you can't just make and I know a lot of artists have confused y'all. You can't just make a hot song and think that you're set for life. Like there's work that goes into this.
Right.
And like, Chris was saying, like he teaches his artists the business. That's how you not only get successful, but stay successful.
That's
Is
correct.
putting in the work. And my son, he's 13 and he wants to be an actor, and I always tell him, like, well, what did you study about acting? Like what did you can't just create a scene and film yourself and get on. Like there's a lot of work that goes into this.
Right.
You have to be prepared, like someone was saying, like be prepared for your success. And by doing that, you have to put in the work. To answer your question as far as writing, again, it takes work. When it comes to the edited version, first of all, you have to know the structure of a song, of a book, the format of
You better
these
talk
things.
about it.
Again, you aren't just
Right.
writing to write.
Yeah.
When you want to be successful, you have to study and do the work and do the research of, who it is you're trying to appeal to, what it is that they are looking for, and how to get your message across to them. People always say, like, perception is key, and, communication is key, but it's nothing without understanding. So if you don't know what it is that your audience is looking for, you're not going to succeed.
That's
So
right.
again, that takes work and being open to learning new things and doing the work and doing the research.
It's interesting you said that because one of my commandments, I gave you commandment number 1 is be prepared. One of my other commandments, that's one of the 10 or 12 commandments, is know your audience. You have to know the people doing that research that you're catering to, folks. It's important. And these commandments that God has given me has been a success. I've taught it in colleges, a few high schools, and it's been a success. I've sold out of my manuals. In fact, I don't even have any right now. And it's a very good it's a very good tool.
Yeah.
To help people, basic information that works. Being prepared, knowing your audience, and there's some other ingredients that's in that too. I'm not going to go into the whole thing because I want people
don't give
to,
them all the commandments.
Yeah.
Don't.
but I do want to share one. This other one. You sell yourself and you sell your business or station. People buy into you.
Right.
So if you're properly prepared, they're going to buy into you.
Right. Absolutely. Now, talk about timing, because again, formats are always changing, right?
Always.
And some people have lengthy songs. Some people have very short songs. What would be a suggested good, comfortable time to stay
5
in?
minutes.
Then okay,
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
You can capture somebody within 2 minutes, but 5 minutes will really give you the quality of a good song. A lot of songs back in the day have been 8-10 minutes long, and you lose people, even though it's a great song.
Right.
But usually I would say 5 minutes or less. And a lot of music that I get now is about that 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Right.
Something
Right.
about that. Because there's so much music being played on the air, and you want to get it on, especially a great
Right.
song, and let it go to another song.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the things that we just spoke about answers that as well, knowing the structure and the format.
Right.
and knowing your audience. Like, what is it that your audience wants from you? If you have an audience that wants to hear a 10-minute song, perhaps for the EP or the album, but for the radio, you know, you
Yeah.
want to keep
it
it
has to be
short to
radio
grab
edit.
attention. And for the radio, you know, the reason why songs have gotten shorter is because people's attention span has
Right.
gotten shorter. So you definitely want to appease to that as well. So again, just being aware of
That's right.
what it is that people are looking for from you.
What I find interesting is the different stations now all have a different expectation. One will be like 3 minutes, one will be like 2 minutes 47 seconds, another one is like 5 minutes. So you're constantly,
Right.
as a writer, as an artist, you're constantly having to edit your songs to meet the format of stations.
Yeah.
And so for people who don't understand, that's why you see on the CDs now in parentheses radio edit
Yes.
version,
Right.
because
And that's usually
when you're
what they
sending
send
that
to us.
press kit
Right,
out,
right,
that's
right.
what's required of them, you know, and that's a headache.
And Chris, not to cut you off, that's usually what they send to us.
Yeah.
Me as a manager, producer, they send us the radio edit version
Right.
for us to review. And then they send other stuff as well, but pretty much the radio edit one.
Right.
Yeah.
And the same is true for books. A lot of people who self-publish, that's what's frustrating for me is every platform that you're putting your book on has a different format and
Yeah,
a different
yeah.
structure that you have to meet for your book to even be, allowed on that platform. So it's very frustrating. It takes time.
Yeah.
Now, Simone, just to shift just a little bit, because
Sure.
you have the gospel station as well.
Yeah, we are a 6 format station.
Right.
Let our viewers and listeners out there know that
Now you have to explain to them what
Yeah.
that means.
That means we play a 6 format of music: gospel, jazz, R&B, a little bit of hip hop, smooth jazz, house and club.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why God gave me the vision in the number 6 in 25 or 25, I'll tell you about that some other time, but the number 6 was because I wanted to have a station that would draw different people in.
Right.
For different types of music. Some people like gospel, some like jazz, some like R&B, hip hop, smooth jazz, and house and club. It's hard to find house and club music today.
Right.
So that was the whole idea, and it works because I have so many walks of people that are listening in from all over the world.
All
when I
over
look
the
at my
world.
demographics.
All over. So let me just touch on this is why internet radio is very successful and beneficial to you as an artist because it goes worldwide.
Correct. You need to think global.
Local stations, they're local.
even though they're streaming,
They are,
but they focus on that particular
on that region,
Right. Exactly.
right? So,
Exactly.
and then here you go. So, if I'm an independent artist and I'm trying to get my song played, I have to have a very good tour budget, a radio tour budget, not a concert, a radio tour budget where I am going state to state, so on and so forth, to get those regions to hear my music. That costs a lot of money. But if I go to FMHDMS right in Philadelphia, I can already go All right, I just wanted to just
You can.
Huh?
I just wanted to drop that nugget real
let
quick.
me just say this: that people that get our services through me, I share with them the demographics. I share with them the
Yeah.
top 10 cities, the top 10 countries, because if your music is being played on my station, and those are our top 10 cities and top 10 countries, that's where you need to market your music. Does that make sense?
You just gave a golden nugget away. You just gave a whole marketing plan away. You just gave it. I hope you all grasp that.
For the free.
If you missed it, you can go back on all of our media outlets and hit the replay to catch that, because that's strategy.
And it works.
It absolutely it works.
I've had artists
done
come
it.
to
I
me
do it,
and they said that they've contacted the stores in that city.
Right.
Because if that's where my listeners are, your CDs or your music is there.
Right.
It works. It's some work you got to put in, but it does work.
Right. Let me so to my leaders, to my pastors, who are supporters of the show, who are listening in right now. The gospel station also spotlights and gives time to speakers.
Absolutely.
And
we primarily play gospel. Huh?
Right.
Yeah.
On that. Right. So with the time that we're in right now, you have a lot of churches that are doing the virtual thing.
Absolutely.
And so on and so forth. So if you are looking for a platform to reach more people, here's a station right here that you can get connected with.
Absolutely.
That can help you reach globally some souls that need some touching.
Absolutely.
During this time. So I just wanted to plug you on that too.
Absolutely. And if they need to be spotlighted about your ministry, I oftentimes say, Christian, we need a voice to push you.
Absolutely.
You need a voice. And you need a voice that has been seasoned. When you go to the store and you buy some meat, you want some seasoned meat. I bring you 31 years in this business.
Right.
Started at age 15. So, you need a voice to push you. You need a person to ask the right question. And God has gifted me and anointed me, thank you, Father, to be able to ask the right question so people can know more about your ministry, because many of you have so many great things going on. Just like this platform here. Use internet radio, whether it's my station or anybody else. I would love to have your business. But if not, use the platform of internet radio. Did you know that the FCC does not govern internet radio right now?
I know.
Stations are making bukus of money.
Yes.
That's going to change, because when I first started, I had to have an FCC license. You don't need that anymore.
You don't need it anymore.
But they're not governed like commercial stations.
Right.
Okay, because I've worked in commercial stations, and this is what got me into internet radio, because I wanted to give people an opportunity for their voice to be heard in other artists that could not get their music played on other stations.
Right.
It's still hard for them.
It is. It's I won't drop no names and tell any secrets, but there have been some mainstream artists that did not make it until they got on FMHDMS, and that was the segue for them to hit those mainstream stations and things of that nature. So I tell people all the time, because they'll say to me, well, what kind of station is this? And then I say, Digital One Internet Radio. Oh, internet. Oh, no. Now listen, don't think y'all above that.
Listen, I would not be nowhere else. I own and operate what I've been doing going on 15 years.
And I was just going to say, because I was going to say, tell the people, 15 years. So
this
obviously,
December makes 15 years.
So obviously it's been good and business is going well and it's obviously successful.
I tell people, and I shared it today on my Facebook Live because I'm very authentic, it's full-time work with a part-time income.
Yeah.
But I own and operate. You have to think of entrepreneurship. And that's what I've been doing. And it works.
Right.
And my personalities are independent contractors. We are a commercial station. And we do not survive off any national sponsors or advertisements.
Right. That's
hard to believe.
Right.
Because we have a plan of action. When God gave me the vision, and with my business partner, we had a plan that if at the end of the day, if we can't get those sponsors and we can't get those commercials that we want based on other income that we have, that will help pay the bill.
Right.
And I must say, it takes thousands of dollars to do what we're doing. You've been in my studio. It's the softwares.
Right.
We're streaming at 128K digital. When we first started, we were only at 32K.
Right.
Look at the success. So it does work. This is a great avenue, folks, for you to utilize if you want to get your ministry and your business and your music out there. Digital internet radio is the source to go there. Thousands of stations out there.
Right.
But my station is one that has a 6 format, and we are making a difference at what we do. I don't compare and I don't compete, because what God has for me is for me.
Amen.
I just really hope that people are paying attention, because there's a lot of gems being dropped for the free.
There is.
On tonight.
Yeah.
And it's a lot going on in the world right now, and people are exposing the fact that they have signed some very interesting situations.
Right.
And ownership is key.
Yep.
And you have to not only believe in yourself, but believe in the people around you, because if we work together, we have the power to do more than mainstream, than commercial.
Right.
And people don't believe in themselves and they don't believe in each other, and that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you sign to these interesting situations, and then you want to complain about it years later.
Mm-hmm.
Focus and realize the power and the potential that you have, and
Absolutely.
really sow the seed for what it
Absolutely.
is you're trying to build.
Absolutely. And I've had artists come to me, Chris, that said, Simone, I'm glad that I sat down and talked to you and consulted with you because they've been robbed.
Right.
From other stations, or been robbed that they gave all this
and
money.
this is why I teach them the business aspect of the industry.
You don't sign contracts without going through the legal process.
Right.
I'm running a legal station. You are not going to air and have a broadcast on my station without signing a contract.
Right.
We're going to go over it in detail because we don't want to be sued.
Right.
And you have to make sure if you're running a station that you're LLC.
Absolutely.
You know, they got these mom and pop stations popping up.
Right.
You know, and I'm asking them, are they selling airtime? And they said yes. And I said, do you have contracts? Oh, no. You easily will be sued. Folks, you got to do it legally. I've learned this, and I'm going to let you move on. There are 3 things you need to be successful in this business. You need a good marketing team.
Absolutely.
You need a good lawyer. And you need a good photographer. When you're marketing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And those things may cost, but it's worth the investment. I have all 3.
It is.
One of my friends is my lawyer. I have 3 or 4 photographers, as you can see from the new cover there. I have a good marketing team. But these are people that believe in me. So you have to find people that believe in you, that will support you and not rob you of your gift and not prostitute you of your gift.
Absolutely.
Amen, Elder?
One of the things that I also wanted to spotlight is the fact that how the show and the radio has made ways and opened other doors for you, because now you travel, you
not
host,
as much right now, but
not right now, but you have been traveling.
Yes.
MC different events.
I'm booked next year.
Hosted different events.
Yes.
We've received tickets to some mainstream artists and sat on the first seat.
Thank you.
Of the front row. And we've had great experiences based off of what's being done on the broadcasting end. Talk on those experiences and just highlight the different things, because you've went from MCing to being a guest speaker to just coming to open in prayer to TV.
Yes.
You done got invited to host on TV shows, then took over the station. Now got his own TV show.
Right.
Just spotlight some of those different opportunities that have come your way.
Well, thank you, Chris. Let me just say this, that I believe in 3 P's: taking pride, being persistent, and persevering. When you do that and you're consistent at what you do, God opens doors. Somebody can say amen about that.
Amen.
So, starting in this field at a very early age, properly preparing myself, God opened some doors for me.
Good.
You have to labor for a while till you receive your reward. A lot of times people that get into this industry, they want a quick fix of a blessing.
Right.
You have to be properly prepared, folks, in order to receive the reward. And Chris, it took a while before these doors began to open, because God had to prepare me. So when I open my mouth and I do the things that I do, that I know what I'm doing.
Right.
So from that, what has happened, allowed me to teach. It's allowed me to lecture. It's allowed me to not just MC, but to do ministerial stuff for people, travel to do concerts, also to do live remotes. And also to just minister for what I do.
Right.
And it has been a great experience. And then a major door opened up for me. There are still some of the other major networks that have been looking at me. But I had an opportunity to come on a local cable station in Philadelphia last year. What happened was that I was a guest. They wanted me to be a guest on the show. Dealing with men issues and surviving cancer, because I've been a cancer survivor since 2011.
Amen.
After the producer reviewed my profile, she says, "Oh, no, we do not want you to be a guest. Can you just host this program one time.
Right.
I said, me? She said, yes. I did it one time, and they gave me the opportunity of being the host of that talk show. Then another opportunity happened. I switched gears with another show that a person wanted to spotlight me. After she spotlighted me, she says, can you please co-host my show? So I am co-hosting a local cable show in Philadelphia. Right now, we're not doing anything due to COVID, but I've been given that opportunity to host on Philly Cam, the co-host of a talk show, which is
They have
amazing.
an awesome studio.
Oh, they have teleprompters and everything.
I've loved that studio. I've been there a few times.
I'm reading my own teleprompter.
Listen, I want a teleprompter just from being in that studio.
Right.
Yeah.
So that
awesome.
has God has allowed me to be able to, and it's all a part of my journey. I tell people that things that happen to you is a part of your soul's journey, but you have to be properly prepared, believe, and have the faith that these things will happen. And if it's meant to be, it's going to happen for you. So those are just some of the things that has happened for me. I'm very happy and excited where I am, and I believe that God is going to continue to open up other doors. I'm booked next year for 2 major events, one in Atlanta to speak, and then to do a concert. But let me just say this also. I was given the opportunity to be at, just like people go to the BET Awards, there's something called the Spin Awards. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yes, sir.
It's for gospel announcers for all over the world. 3 years ago.
I was going to say, that was a few years back.
Yeah, 3 years ago was my first time going. I had hesitated to go, and the people that were in charge said, no, Simone, we want you to come. I didn't know that I was going to get an award because I wasn't caught up on all of that. I've been working all these many years, even though I got awards and certificates, but they said, we want you to come. We heard about you. I went, and they gave me the National Award of Broadcasting for mentorship.
Awesome.
So I'm an award-winning personality from the Spin Awards, and then they invited me to come back last year, which I went, and they gave me another small award. But the trick was, I didn't even know the last minute they asked me, could I host the red carpet? Which, you know, when you go to the Oscars and Emmys.
It's a big deal.
So I am now a part of the Spin Awards, and to all of those that are watching and it's connected to the Spin Awards, thank you. But I am an award-winning radio personality, and I thank God for the opportunity of giving me that to be able to teach others, to give back what God has given me.
Good. And you know, it's funny because first let me say thank you again to our viewers, our supporters, our listeners, those that are on our audio outlets, Podbean, Anchor, iHeartRadio,
You're
Apple
making it
Podcasts,
happen, man.
Google. Listen,
congratulations.
It is just yesterday we received notice that we are now on Amazon Music.
Woo,
and people ask me all the time, and you know, and I even thank God for the haters, because I've had some people even hit me and they're like, how much do you pay to get on those, you know, and you do have to pay.
Sure.
But we do not.
Look at God.
Let me tell you about God.
Look at God.
We have not paid to get spotlighted, to be hosted or anything on any of those platforms. Not any of them. And I tell people all the time, I say, you know, I didn't even know. I just would receive random emails, and it was just like, oh, this is really happening. Like, right? Because when we talked about doing this podcast and stuff, it was honestly, it was more of an outlet for us.
Yes.
Being, you know, involved in music, finding an outlet to release some of our frustrations from dealing with the music industry. So we weren't really looking to like make this like a thing.
Right.
We really just was like, we just want to talk music. And then we were like, and then we can spotlight artists. And then, you know, the vision just kept unfolding. And I don't even, how long have we been doing it? Has it been?
It's been maybe 2 months.
2 months?
Now? Yeah.
So within 2 months, we
Look
are
at God.
on, what, 6 different major iHeartRadio, Apple, Google, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Amazon Music, Alexa.
Wow. And it's going to continue to grow.
And
wait, I got to tell a funny story about the Alexa thing. So when we got the word that we were available via Alexa, we were like, okay, let's see. So because we didn't have
we didn't believe it.
So we was talking to Alexa, and Shorty really pulled up, bringing Lyrics to Life podcast. What a blessing.
Yeah, we really were in this. We were sitting in the living room, and I'm like, hey, Alexa, play back Bringing Lyrics to Life podcast, and she playing back, and I was just like, oh snap, we're really on Alexa. Like, it's every week. It's just mind blowing because this was not our focus.
Sure.
And people are literally, they're contacting me now. Even somebody hit me yesterday as well, and they asked me about now putting the show on radio, and I'm like, oh my, I don't like the attention and stuff. And I'm like, God, I thank you, but
Yes.
it is just amazing, and some of the things that we're talking about is what got us there. We literally and every week I try to do something to perfect what we're doing.
Awesome.
Whether it be the sound, whether it be the lighting, whether it be the set, whatever it is, the topic, the guest, we strategically sit and figure out who's coming on the show, what we're going to talk about, the format, like we really take the time to really figure it out, and make it what it is, and look at where it has gotten us, and it literally has been the viewers, the listeners, the supporters, and people apparently voted, because that's how we got on iHeartRadio. It takes voting to get on there for free.
That's major.
So God bless all of the voters, because I didn't
We didn't
realize
know about it.
that many people
We didn't
were
even
even
know.
paying attention to us like that.
Sure.
So it's just important that if you are serious about this,
That's right.
that you put in the time, you put in the effort, you put in the work, and you perfect your gift.
That's it.
You have to perfect it. Like I said, it for us, and it's still the same. Although we're on all these platforms, we're not changing. We're still going to be our regular selves.
That's
We're going
right.
to come on
Bless our
here
hearts.
with our slippers and Uggs, and we're just going to host the show.
Exactly.
But we're going to talk like we're talking, because it's important. This kind of every episode we've done thus far actually has been something that has impacted someone.
Wonderful.
And I will tell you all, and again, the viewers, the listeners, the supporters, truly from my heart, I thank you, because so many people hit me up, and I love the show. It was awesome. It motivated me. It encouraged me. How do I get my book edited
Sure.
and published, and what do I have to do? And I mean, the studio line rings off the hook now.
Great.
Like, I'll be forgetting sometimes we have a studio line, and I'm like, oh, we have voicemails, so I have to check the voicemails. But and it's just been an awesome journey, and here's the best part and the blessing in it: we're having fun.
That's it. You just
We're
be
loving
yourself.
what we're doing,
Exactly.
right? Because we're being ourselves. We're not changing. We're just being us,
That's it.
and doing what we love to do.
Exactly.
And guess what? Because it's our own, we get to do and say what we want to do and say. And if the folks
I hear
don't
you.
like it,
For some, that's a good thing.
yeah.
For others,
No, because transparency is a good thing, but some people don't know how to receive
Exactly.
and accept it, and they will find ways to try and knock you for it. And for us, especially in the industry, we're considered a threat because I teach the people the industry. I tell them the ins and outs, with structuring a song, and for her, she works on with structuring books and how to properly edit and proof and things of that nature, and so because we're teaching business, and some people even tell me, they're like, you're crazy. You're losing business. You're giving away business. Like, these are
Too much for
clients
free.
that you could be and I'm like, it's not about the money for me, and that's not how God gave it to me. He gave it to me to share. So that's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? And look at what God has done for me by being obedient and doing just that, by sharing. So it has been awesome, humbling, nerve-wracking. I mean, every time we get another notice, I'm like, and I send it to her, she just laughs at me because I'm like,
Wow.
oh man, we're on something else now, and I'm like, we gotta make sure we do this,
Sure,
and this,
sure.
And even with that, those platforms, because with some of them, there's a format and stuff like that, but they have really given us free will. They really have. They email us, letting me know that we're accepted, And then once I get on the phone with, their team and talk about the format and stuff, they're like, don't change anything,
That's great.
do what you, and they play the whole show. So sometimes we're on for an hour, sometimes we're on for 2 hours, and we don't get cut short, nothing. they just give us free will, and it's been an awesome experience.
And this is truly just a testimony for motivational purposes only, because not everybody has that freedom. You know, a lot of people have to change their show and change their format for certain platforms. So we've truly been blessed. And I call the hate, I call it the matrix, because, you know, when you're so used to a certain reality, when people give you the real, it's hard to swallow. It's a lot to take. So, you know, it's like jolting, and you want to fight back and be defensive against, you know, the truth. So that's what I consider hate.
Got you.
I do want to just say hey to a few viewers. Hey Uni, that's my friend Unique.
Okay.
I'm working with her daughter actually right now. I'm doing vocal lessons. She's a phenomenal young lady. Uni, you comment. I can't remember. I think she's like 8 years old, maybe a little older.
Bless your heart.
Beautiful voice for a little girl. Beautiful voice. She's going to be a threat to the industry.
Wow.
Jasmine stated, she said she's been introduced to some amazing artists through internet radio. Would have never heard of them without it. And that is so key. I remember my days of working for Sony, and we would go to the media outlets, SoundCloud, things of that nature, to discover up and coming underground artists, things of that nature, because there's some very talented
Sure
people, and a lot of them either don't know how to, what to, where to, you know, what have you, don't have the finances, so on and so forth. And those platforms, you know, because they can just either post it for free or pay like a little $20 subscription, whatever, and put their music out there. But you know, they can get discovered that way. They can move that way. And a lot of people don't know that. You know, I will say with some, don't give people too much on SoundCloud. Don't, you know, give them teasers, give them snippets is what we call it in the industry. You give them snippets. You don't want to release whole songs on there and then when you get it placed on Apple and then charge them 99 cents and it was on SoundCloud for free. That's backwards, y'all.
Exactly.
So, you know, just give people snippets, give them an idea of your sound and who you are, and just give them enough just to draw them in, and then get your music placed on those media platforms where people can support you financially. That's all I had to say on that. But to all of our listener supporters, I appreciate y'all. I see Apostle Karen Witherspoon on here. My uncle, the great Dr. Reverend Guy Sly.
Wonderful.
Pastor Darnell Brown. Psalmist Pamela Madrid, love you. Mom Brenda, hey, how are you? I like to take time to acknowledge some people sometimes, because, you know, without you all,
that's right,
we would not be where we are and where we're continuously going on these platforms. So I appreciate all of our viewers, all of our listeners, all of our supporters. I want to talk about how to. So with your station, we know we can call you, we can email you.
Get me quickly.
We can and let me say this. When you call, when you message, when you Facebook inbox, you're getting him. You're not getting a robot.
That's right.
You're not getting someone overseas. You're getting the real man.
Yes.
The trusted and respected voice.
Thank you.
You're going to get him, and you're going to get all of him. You're going to get him live in color. And Simone is...
In my Facebook Lives on Tuesday and Thursdays.
Simone is awesome with that transparency, you know, that we often talk about. And it's needed. And I will say this, because you and we say this all the time. Listen, we can only take you as far as you want to go. If you're not serious, don't call us.
Exactly. Don't waste my time.
Don't waste. Listen, because he's a go-getter, I'm a go-getter, she's a go-getter. So when you come, you better come ready and ready to go. You know, listen, when you hit that door, the traffic light is green. We're going. You know, we're not at yellow. It's green. We're going. So you have to be ready. But tell people what the expectation is, how to properly prepare, because sometimes we don't know. You know, sometimes
as an artist
we don't,
or
as
or generally with business.
as an artist, as a broadcaster, as an engineer, just you know, in all entrepreneurship, business, all different facets. Because, but I do want you to touch specifically on the station as well. But some people just don't know, and some people just don't want to know, right? Some people think I got this thing, I figured it out, and you should want me on your show. Wrong. But you know, just give some points on how to properly prepare and come prepared. Let's talk about portfolios. We don't talk about that.
Talk all of that stuff, yeah.
And even how to structure bios. You can touch on that, Naya. I can touch on press kits, but it'll kind of be the same thing of what you two are going to talk about, because it's pretty much similar, just adding the music to it, and that's it. But I want the two of you to tag team on that, because some people just don't know, and then some people think they have it figured out because they took a writing class in
I think we should start with you, because they have to have the materials that they send to me. If there's usually when I get materials from artists, they have the bio, it's the press release. So I think it starts with that. Your image is key, and packaging is key as well. There's so many areas I can touch on, but I think if we want to specifically talk about when it comes to music, you know, they have to make sure that they have a bio, that the packaging of what they're sending is correct. And I get this stuff every single day, tons of emails. Some of that stuff I just go through, and then some of it catches my attention because of the way it's packaged. That's key. So go ahead and talk about the bio stuff, because you know people may not they don't even know you, but when they read the information, they have a sense of who you are and says, oh, this person is, you know, making something happen. Yeah.
So my personal opinion is to have someone who is familiar with your work write your bio. Someone whose opinion you trust, you value, someone who you may even go to for advice to write your bio. I think it's weird to talk about yourself in third person, and you don't want to say I did this and you want to that's just my thoughts on it. I really think you should have somebody you know and trust write your bio and let them, you know, speak to your work and how it influences your audience and what your purpose is, what it is that you know, inspired you, motivated you, what it is that you're trying to do with your music, so that the person who's receiving your bio knows your audience, like knows who you're trying to you know, attract, or
That's
who
true.
you're trying to speak to.
I totally agree with her, because the person that wrote my bio interviewed me. He went around with me places to get a sense of who I was and my personality, and that's really, really key. Really, really key. And it's important that once I get those materials and artists that send in that or people, I review that. And, you know, because people say, can you play this or can you contact me? And I'll contact them and say, you know, this is okay or it's not okay. I'm dealing with that now with an artist. So you know, all those things are key components to your success and getting your music played and just people recognizing who you are. That's really, really key.
Now, talk about, because you talked about packaging, right? And one of your key points was having a good photographer. Sometimes you can't afford a photographer, right? And if you have a good phone, you can make it look like you have a good photographer. But give some key pointers. Like, one thing that I would say is, if you're using your phone, use a solid color wall, a white or a black. We don't want to see you taking selfies in the bathroom.
Oh my!
And
I see those every day.
Yeah, you know, because some people really think that I looked really good in this photo. You did. There's an app called Bizarre you can use on your phone and cut out the backdrop and just send you. But you know, those kind of things that will cause people to just delete and keep moving. So talk about proper packaging. Yeah. And format on how to send the music, if it's, you know, in an MP3 that, you know.
Right. Well, when you were talking about photographs, you know, if you can't afford a photographer and you're doing it from your cell phone, there are different, you know, apps that you can download to edit them. You want very clean cut pictures. Right. You want natural looking pictures. That's really, really key. If you can get a photographer, that's great, because there's some photographers that can really make you look like $1 million. I stepped my game up by getting an award-winning photographer to shoot these images of me that you see here. And what they do is they capture your personality. Yeah. That's the key, to capture your personality. But when you're packaging material and you're sending it, it needs to be clean. It needs to, look right. If you're going to send something, if it's going to be a photograph, you're going to send a bio, you're going to send the music. As soon as I click on, Chris, to an MP3 that someone sends, I can tell by my ears that have been trained whether that's quality. It only takes a couple of seconds.
Right.
A couple of seconds.
Right.
Because the people who sent it, or the promotional company that sent it, will contact me, because I am in contact with promotional companies that market those artists, to ask me, did you review it? And I would tell them, that's not going to air on my station. Right. Because
let me
right.
drop this nugget for engineers, producers, and artists with mixing and mastering. So when you're doing your CD, in your mastering piece, you'll have that airtime of where it's silence from the last song into the next song. But when you are sending it to the radio, you have to cut that out. It needs to start right with the music. Hear what I'm saying? So when I click on a track and it's silent, and then 10 seconds in, and then the music starts playing, that's no good. Not for radio.
Yeah, it's bad.
For radio, it needs to be immediate sound. And I will tell you, from an industry standpoint, you only have 30 to 45 seconds to capture their interest. So 10 seconds, you already lost because of silence. So you have to make sure that your mixing and mastering is even different for radio format. I just wanted to drop that.
That's key. Yeah.
Talk about the classes, right? So you're doing the different classes. When are you starting back up?
When I'm starting now. I mean, I do one-on-one. I have an intern working with me now.
Okay.
Chris, that's in the background. Y'all probably, if you watch my Facebook Lives, you hear me mentioning him. I haven't shown him yet, because I haven't shown the viewers or the people who watch and listen until he finishes what he's doing, and I'm going to introduce him. But the classes, I'm starting now, and people can register for my broadcast training class. I send a letter out. I do interview very detailed. People come to me and say, well, I've been told I have a good voice for radio. Do you think it's possible? And I would tell them that I can, whether it's possible to work with them or not.
Right.
There's something that you need training with, and you develop over the years. And you need to, if this is something that they passionately want to do, I'm willing to help them. But the broadcast training classes, again, it's 2 months, and you learn production, you learn voice, you learn everything about internet radio from my experience in my studio. It's usually 2 hours a week for 2 months. And they come out with a certificate. They come out with hosting my show, because all the things that I taught you from that manual, because they have to purchase the manual first to study the commandments.
Right.
Because they have to memorize them. Because as I teach, that is what you're learning on the air. And believe it or not, you're doing it now and don't even realize it.
Right.
So, and once they complete that, then they have an opportunity of displaying that by hosting one of my shows, whether it's the Songbook of Gospel or my R&B show called The Feel Good Flavor, that has the highest listenership on the station for years because of the consistency.
So let's talk about helpful hints that most people would think don't even matter or exist, right? So Naya's over there sipping on some tea out of her cup, right? We know, well, some of the viewers and listeners who do know and listen to the show, that you have a process of how you there's a certain beverage, there's certain things that you do to prepare your voice and your body for an interview.
Right.
Touch on that, because a lot of people, they don't think of these things. They just think, I'm going to go and do this interview and I'm going to be good. Yeah. And then you get on there, you get cotton mouth, you get on there, you get nervous, you get the butterflies.
One tool is that you should not eat before you do an interview, because the food, the saliva and things like of that nature. You see me sip on some tea, some ginger. I'll probably have given you. You might see me sip on a smoothie, but I don't drink that whole entire thing. I may sip on it because I'm talking about healthy drinks.
Right.
It's important that always drinking water, and I drink the highest level PHA water, but I always offer, and I've offered it to some of your personality people that have come, ginger is very good for you. If a guest is on, I'll have them drink some fresh ginger, some fresh mint, and I serve it really good. That really titillates your taste buds. But really, you should not have eaten a full meal if you are performing before you perform, because it will affect your ability. And I've talked to many major artists that said, Simone, this is something that is absolutely correct.
Right.
Yeah. But you can sip on some water or something like that. But I don't do much of that, just to give them a tease, let them know if I'm talking about something healthy and things of that nature. And kind of like I said, it goes back to the first commandment of being prepared. Know what you're going to say when you open the microphone or when you're speaking, because just those few seconds sets the atmosphere
Absolutely.
for everything else.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Naya. What you got?
I think that's why a lot of previous performers are able to excel in the talking business, because posture, diaphragm, all of those things are important.
She said posture. I teach you.
Listen, I got excited because I talk about posture a lot.
Yeah, it's important.
That's key.
Yeah, I always complain about, being forced to perform at a young age and all those things that my mom used to make us do throughout our entire childhood.
Yeah.
But they come in handy in ways that you wouldn't even believe or be prepared for. So.
Right.
And there's something that you said about posture. It's actually in my manual. Like I said, I don't want to give all the information because there's a lot of wealthy information in my manual. There's something that I teach called the PPD rule. Posture, projection, and diction. That's the PPD rule. And if people, do that, it's important. How you come across. Even though the way we're sitting here, the way I'm using my hands and the way that I'm talking in the microphone.
Right.
People can tell that you've been properly prepared and that you know what you're doing. So the PPD rule is important. Posture, projection, and diction when you're speaking.
Any other helpful hints? Won't want you to give too much. I encourage you, as I look into the camera, that you need to believe in yourself. Know your worth. Know that this is truly an assignment that has been given to you, and follow through it. Connect yourself with people who know what they're talking about in the industry. And all I aim to do is just add some deposits into what God has already given you. I have dedicated myself to 31 years in media, and I can say that I have learned the do's and the don'ts. I'm still learning, owning and operating what I'm doing, but it works. When you're consistent, you stay humble, and God will open doors for you. It is an open door season, and you better believe it. Just connect with people that are seasoned in the industry for what they do, and ask questions. Write your questions down so that you can, have a clear understanding when you walk out of here. I always tell people this, Chris, I'm used to saying Christian, is that you can say either or.
That when you come to me, when you leave from meeting with me, there is something that you left that you did not know.
Right.
When people sit down and consult with me, because I also consult with creating people's radio stations as well. So when you sit down, you should leave there with something that you did not know. And people who learn under me, they go out of my studio saying, Simone, thank you, and I've never learned this before. I've helped people that got major jobs that's making a whole lot of money because they learned under me. I'm not jealous. I'm just grateful that they had come and got some of my knowledge and wisdom that pushed them to be better. And that's what it's all about.
Unique made a comment. She said that your PPD rule equals confidence.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. Thank you.
The question, Kalia asked the question, diction, what does that mean?
How your words come out, how they're formatted when you're speaking. That's a part of diction. Yes.
with that, and Naya, I want you to touch on this because being a writer and then a publisher of books, you see different types of vocabulary. Talk about vocabulary. Talk about how to properly speak. Different things one could say, should not say, things to steer away from, and where that could lead them. Because a lot of people, what they don't understand is, you know, we talk about not judging, but this is a very judgmental world. And based off of things you might say or your appearance could elude a certain thing that might not be who you are.
Yeah.
So touch on vocab for me, please.
No slang.
So I'm not going to do that. But with vocabulary, I said this before, one of my favorite compliments that I get from my readers is that they had to go to the dictionary while reading my books. I definitely think that it's important to expand your vocabulary when you can. You know, I used to read the dictionary as a child, I know. But it really
we didn't have a choice with that.
Yeah, but
Dictionary
but, you know,
and thesaurus.
but I
Wow.
mean, it's made me an incredible Scrabble player, and an awesome writer. If I, do
I
say
still
so
don't
myself.
like that game.
I've never played it.
I
No.
don't like it.
I was gonna say we could play with
We-
the shows over 'cause I got it.
It wasn't a game in our house. I always was getting a beating.
But even when I'm writing urban novels, there's a way to say things with slang, but in a way that's comprehensible to a vast audience. You know, it's a difference between being urban and being uneducated, and I straddle that line. So I think it's important that you know what you're trying to say and who you're trying to say it to. That's so key. You know, is the audience, because again, I'm trying to talk to multiple people from all walks of life. So there is a way that I want to communicate. And again, if you have to go to the dictionary, I find that a kudos to me.
Right.
So I definitely try to introduce people to new words. You know, I do, you know, flex my vocabulary a lot. And again, knowing your audience. That's what I would say.
And
someone commented and said enunciation. I will say this for my singers. It is vital that you enunciate. There's one thing that hurts my ears the most is when I have to keep playing back the last 10 seconds to try and hear one word that you're saying, because it really makes a difference in the song. And if I can't understand that word, it messes up the rest of the song for me.
And like Simone was saying with the PPD rule, like diaphragm is so important. Your breathing is so important. And I also drop the room temperature water. I use that all the time.
Yeah. And one of my other commandments I just want to say is be knowledgeable. That's a treat. Be knowledgeable. All of this fits right into the artist stuff. You got to be knowledgeable. You have to know what you're singing about, knowing what you're doing.
Let me tag team on that. Be knowledgeable with where you're going. So what do I mean by that? So if you're going to be a guest on Simone Malone's show, know who Simone is.
Listen to me before coming on.
Come with questions for Simone, because watch this. It will help the interview turn into more of a conversation, and it'll develop an atmosphere as if we know one another.
And that's usually the way it happens on my program. People say, I make people feel that they've been knowing me for years.
Right. And it makes people feel comfortable.
I don't even write any questions down. I glance at their
You
know
listen,
that.
You know
just
me and
flow.
scripts. I don't
just
know.
flow. I throw one question out and I take it from there.
That's
Tell
it.
me who
That's
in the
it.
world is, and then I just run with it, even though they may send the bio.
There's a show that I do for Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. It's called The American Dream. And we start the show with one question.
That's it.
What is your American dream? And we go from there.
That's it.
We don't do any other questions. We don't do no scripts. And I mean, You can be coming on for a specific thing. We'll get to that, but we start with, because we want to get to know you, and we want the listeners to know who you are.
Yeah.
So we want to invite people in, especially if you are an artist and you want to get your music and stuff out there. People want to know who you are.
Yeah.
You can have some of the greatest music, but they still want to, I'm sorry, y'all, they want to be in your business.
Right.
They want to know who you are,
Right.
what you're about, if you have a cat, a dog, how many children. They want to know your background.
Right.
People want to know that.
Yeah, and for radio time, let me just say my interviews are no longer than 15 minutes.
Right. Yes.
Because of radio time, you have to get it in 15 minutes.
Airtime. People don't understand.
Because I'm streaming some of my interviews live as they're happening while simultaneously on radio and Facebook Live, and people can follow me on Facebook, Simone Malone. You can go there and see all of my stuff right there, Simone Malone. It's a public page on Facebook. Become my friend. I promise you'll be blessed by my ministry. But I try to get it all in 15 minutes.
That's it.
And artists are like, man, you covered. At the end, I say, is there anything else you want to ask?
Right.
Anything else you covered it all.
And they don't even realize it. And that 15 minutes feels like an hour.
Yep.
You're like,
I even give them
all that
snips
in
of
15
their
minutes?
song. I play their song before I even interview them.
Right, right.
And sometimes it may go over a little bit more, but I try to get those interviews in within 15 minutes because the attention span of people on social media is very slim. So you want something that's going to capture them. So people already know when I come on live, they know what they're going to expect. They're going to get that inspirational moment.
Right.
And they're chiming in because they're going to be blessed. They're going to be inspired. Being consistent at what you're doing and properly, preparing people for that is very key. Yeah.
And let me just take us somewhere just really quick about being knowledgeable about the subject matter that you're coming to talk about, and being knowledgeable about yourself. If you're trying to sell yourself, you have to know who you are as
That's
a person
right.
and what you want your audience to know about you.
Right.
Because people get on the radio or on a platform and get stumped because they're not prepared or not knowledgeable.
Right.
And that's another thing about vocabulary is don't box yourself in. You want to expand your vocabulary. You want to expand your knowledge on the subject matter. Especially the first thing I think about when I think about being knowledgeable about subject matter is R&B singers. If you're singing about love, there are so many different ways you can come at that, and people box themselves in as if it has to contain certain lyrics and certain words, and that's just not the case. So definitely, don't be your own hindrance on your creativity.
Right. And Chris, I just thought of this about image, and I wanted to say this. It's important how people are styled as well.
Yes.
We didn't say anything about that, but if you can invest in a stylist, if you're not a person that knows how to really dress, that's important for your CD cover. First impression is always lasting.
Right.
And, I've had fashion people on my show as well, because fashion is really you. But you want to make sure that you're wearing the right colors.
Right.
You're wearing the right thing for your photo shoot, making sure that you have your makeup on. I do my own face. I'm admitting when I put a little powder on my face before coming in here, my face is done. Okay, so I'm under bright lighting. I've been trained how to do that.
Right.
So it's important, that people know this, and you got to know how to style yourself as well, because you can be a great singer but have on a bad outfit on your CD cover that just turns people away.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's really, really key.
And with that, because you did say having a good photographer. With having a good photographer, that does not mean someone who is just good at taking the pictures, but one who can give direction.
Exactly.
One who can tell you about posture, posing, positioning, making sure they're capturing lighting and things listen, all of those things that's what makes a good photographer.
That's right.
You want quality.
Awesome.
Knowing them angles.
I know. I was just looking at that up there. I gave a serious look on that one. I have a great photographer. I'm blessed, man. I can't complain. I really can't.
If there is one thing that you could say to the viewers, to the listeners, that could encourage them and help them on their journey of success in whatever avenue that they're traveling, what would that be?
Be kind to yourself. An act of kindness is never wasted, and always know that you're special. Know that you were given something that the world needs to know about. Go after it. Strive for excellence to bring the best out of you, because you are assigned to a person and a place, and you want to be properly prepared for your assignment. And when you're properly prepared for that assignment, God is going to make sure that you have, thank you, Father, I know from my experience, all the resources that you need. In fact, people will be drawn to you because they're saying that it's something about you
Right.
that they want to support. So those are some short words of wisdom, and you can get more of that on my show of inspiration as I share great inspirational moments, as you know,
Right.
that will bless your heart. I was just talking about the gift of a positive image last week on my show, that some of us beat ourselves up so much,
Right.
but the Bible talks about having the gift of a positive image, and that's so important. How you feel about yourself is key to success in anything that you do.
Right.
So smile, because it makes you feel good.
One thing that you said that I really admire and connect with is understanding that you're someone's assignment. I often tell people all the time, stop asking God, why me, but ask God, who is this for?
Exactly.
Even in the business industry, you know, some people do it for money, some people do it for fame, some people do it for fun. Some, you know, we have many different reasons of why we're doing it. But in that process, in that journey, understand that you are going to reach, you're going to touch, you're going to impact, you're going to have a connection, you're going to build relations. It's an assignment.
That's it.
So you have to carry this thing, whatever it is, whatever your journey is, whatever your interest is, whatever your business is, you have to carry it and adore it. And I tell people all the time, I remember when I think it was we were opening our Woodbury location.
I think have I been? I think
You've been to the
yeah,
Woodbury location, yeah. And you know, people they would come to me and they would ask me about business tips and this, that, or whatever. And I remember sitting down with my chief financial officer and all the staff, and we were figuring out budget and you know, how to pay everybody and you know, what everyone's agreements were going to be. And they said to me, they said, well, how much are you going to get paid? And I said, as long as those doors stay open, that's my payment. Because God gave this to he gave me the resources, and you just touched on that. He gave me the resources to do certain things. He gave me the gifts, the talents, the visions, the ideas. So I'm not looking for monetary, but I'm just looking for the blessing. I'm looking for a well done from the Father. That is my heart.
Yes.
So it has always been. I've never done anything for money, never. I've never done anything for money, and I've had people tell me I was a fool because I've turned some major dollars away. But I have to be careful of who I connect with,
That's
and
true.
who I work
That's
with,
true.
and things of that nature.
It's
but
kingdom work.
Don't get me started. Don't
It's-
do it.
This is kingdom work.
Don't get me started. I tell people, don't get me started. Don't get me started. But I tell people all the time that's what is a payment for me.
Sure.
Is to see those doors open, because as long as those doors is open, the lights is on, bills are getting paid, that's someone else we can reach. That's someone else we can impact. That's someone else that's being encouraged, being motivated, and now they can reach other people.
Great.
And I feel that, you know, especially now with the times that we're in, entrepreneurship is on an all-time high. And I say to all of you, we can perfect this thing. We can make changes in this world. And I'm talking about on every level, from business to ministry to political. We can really make waves. We can make changes. We can make a difference if we really put our minds, our hearts, and our hands to the plow.
Yeah.
We have to own this thing, and we got to do it, because if we don't, somebody's going to fall. If we don't, somebody's going to suffer, somebody's going to lose. And so for me, it's not about receiving a paycheck or anything like that. If God puts me in a position or gives me the platform, as He has, even with this show, He's given me the platform to be able to reach people, and I want to be able to do that and be effective in doing that. I always talk about doing things in decency and in order, and by doing what we're doing, I truly hope and pray and believe that we are reaching people and we're encouraging people, and it's helping them be successful in whatever it is that they're choosing to do. I'm telling y'all, if we have to change our mindsets. We really do.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Naya.
If I can just add on, something that I've been working on, and I want people to know that when I be going on my mental health rants, I be talking about myself too. You know, like I'm really trying to grow mentally and emotionally and just be a better person and be more self-conscious and aware of my abilities and how I'm tapping into them and using them. And something that I want to encourage everybody to do is to consider how much you sacrifice for other people and how much energy and effort and money and everything else that you put into other people, and be willing to do the same for yourself. That's something that I've just been working on, for myself is to just be like, okay, I'm worth it too. And that's one of the things, like, if you really want to do broadcasting, be willing to pay for those classes. If you really want to do, like you really want to grow
Invest
in your field,
yourself.
be willing to invest in yourself and your dream. And not everything is supposed to be free. Not everything is supposed to come easy. Some things require work. Some things require sacrifice. Some things require investing in yourself. So just be willing to do that if you really want to grow and be successful.
And with that, the reward will be even much greater.
That's right.
When you put in the work and you're able to, just sit and take a moment and look and say, look at God and look at what I did.
Yeah.
The reward is so much greater. It really is. One thing that I tell people all the time, because they try to, some people always try to box you in or compare. And I tell people all the time, listen, there's one thing that I have that a lot of people don't have, and that's peace of mind. I don't have no worries. I don't have no stress over some of the stuff that some of these other people have to deal with. And I'm gonna say this. God gave me this word maybe about 2 years ago. Let your no be your yes. Don't be afraid to say no. Sometimes you have to say no. Sometimes you need to cut some people off. Sometimes you need to turn some people away. Sometimes you need to separate yourself. Let your no be your yes. It will definitely make a difference in your life and how you strategically move forward and how God uses you.
Awesome. This has been a blessing.
Listen, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming. We have to have you come back. We have to have you come back. We have to, because there's so much. There's so much more that we can talk about. There's so much more we can get into. But I want you to drop all your information again.
Okay, sure.
So people can know how to reach you, how they can get the manual, the classes, so on and so forth. So drop all your info one more time.
Once again, you can reach me, Simone Malone, feelgoodman1 at yahoo.com. That's feelgoodman1 at yahoo.com, or 215-224-4297. You can follow me on my Facebook page. It is a public page. My like page, Trusted Voice in Radio. My YouTube channel, Trusted Voice in Radio. You can go back there and watch hundreds of inspirational moments, interviews from major and independent artists, book artists, all kinds of stuff that's on my YouTube channel. I'm on Instagram as well as Trusted Voice in Radio. I promise that if you follow this ministry that I am doing, that God has given me, I am going to tap right into you, into your spirit, because this is not just me being on the radio. This is truly my gift and calling, and it's kingdom work. People are being blessed. People are being saved. People are being challenged. And people's lives are being changed every single day because of what God has deposited into me to be able to share. And this platform right here is amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You're going to make me want to get
That means a lot.
You're going to make me want to get a TV set like this. No, I really am. This is really nice. This is a true, wonderful investment.
I appreciate
And I want to
it.
whisper a prayer to you all that God will continue to bless you, because I don't believe that you should come on a program and you don't pray at the end,
Amen.
because people are going through tough times.
Yes, they are.
So I'm going to let you say what you want to say, and then if you can let me pray real quick, because I
Listen,
believe.
you got it, to the trusted and respected voice.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. I honor you. it's always good to be in company with you, y'all. Listen, we are we're like two peas in the pod. It's just always been a breath of fresh air working with you.
I love you from day one.
Listen, we connected.
He came with money in his pocket when he came. Though. I mean, you got to pay the feel good man. No, I'm just
right. Listen, because we met by
Right,
which we opened the show playing Maurice Griffin's newest single just released yesterday. Love, Peace, and Happiness.
Yes.
Y'all, please go support. Listen, I had a busy weekend. I just posted another artist, Chandler, a new song that just got released. Yeah, y'all go ahead, support those artists. But that's how we got connected. I brought Maurice onto the show.
Never forget. Fed y'all too.
Yeah, we had a good time. Maurice never had a Philly cheesesteak coming from Chicago.
Wow.
And did y'all hear that? I brought an artist all the way from Chicago.
That's right.
To Philadelphia. Got him on FMHDMS, and Maurice is a independent artist, and he is making waves.
Unbelievable.
And I've been working with Maurice for, oh my God, over 10 years too. I don't even remember the numbers. It's so long.
Yeah.
I've been working with him for many, many, many years, and I've watched the growth and the development, and just, even when I'm in the house and I'm sitting and turning on the TV, and now he's on those stations on the TV. I forget what they call the different music ones, and then on Sirius XM.
He's worked
and
really hard.
He
Yes.
has, and we thank you.
Music choice.
Yes, Music Choice. Thank
He's on
you.
Music Choice. Great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
he's on Music Choice.
He's working hard.
But and again, and I say, and I really I honor you and I appreciate you
Thank you so
because
much. You've
it
always been
started
genuine.
at the station. It
Yeah.
started at FMH DMS,
Yeah.
and from there we have hit station after station and you were the start
Thank you so
of
much.
that tour, and it just.
I know he oftentimes says, Simone, your voice, it's no more. He says, I got to get you to cut a commercial for me. I said, okay. I say, pay me handsomely. No, I'm just kidding. But let's pray. Are you ready?
We are good. Listen, we thank you all for
Yes.
tuning in, for bringing lyrics to life. To all of our viewers, we appreciate you. All of our listening audience, we thank you. To our sponsors, Anchor FM, we thank you. Please continue to support us. If you
Yes.
need to go back, take any notes, you know what you can do. Go back
Yes.
to Facebook. You can catch us on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
wow.
Spotify, Anchor FM, Podbean, TuneIn Radio, Amazon Music, Alexa. I know I'm missing one of them or two of them. I don't
Amazon
know,
Music,
but
right?
they're all on the flyer.
Wow.
But definitely go back, hit the replay. You
Unbelievable.
definitely, and to the viewers who have commented,
Thank you.
we thank you for the comments. They thank you as well. They said you have dropped awesome jewels, and they appreciate it. We do have a
Yes.
lot of different entrepreneurs and business owners and things that are tuning in. Next month, I will be bringing back the business forum, the virtual business forum that we host
Awesome.
once a month, and that is a free class on Zoom. So for those who want to know how to build your business or keep your business successful, especially during this time, that is the forum for you. Simone, again, I love you, man. I
Love you
appreciate
too. Oh, we've been genuine friends.
Yeah, I
We
appreciate
may
you
not
for
see each
coming.
other that often, but I know you follow my ministry, and I thank you
You're
so much.
busy, man. You're busy.
Yeah, because outside of what I do in radio, I work in forensics mental health. So
Yes.
the mental health with radio. You got to keep your mind in perfect peace who is stayed on him. Let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you for this day. I thank you for this opportunity. I thank you for the viewers and listeners that are tuned in, that have watched this program, God, and they're going to share it to other people about bringing lyrics to life. Lord, we know that you're breathing something fresh into somebody's spirit right now, and I thank you for this program. I thank you for the both of the hosts, God. I ask you to do something special for this ministry and this program, God. Oh, God, let it continue to go over the world, that people will be blessed, and you'll send people that want to invest in this ministry because you have given them a platform, God, to let people hear what they are doing. I ask you, God, for that person that is watching us and hearing us. They could be going through a situation right now, and I ask you to touch them and encourage their spirit. That business owner out there that has not had the finances to continue their business, God, I ask you to grant them the opportunity. That independent artist, God, that want to do a contract and wants to get their music heard. Open up a door for them right now. God, keep the coronavirus away from people. I ask you to bless our people right now. Lift them up where they are and continue, God, to do good works because we believe, Father, that good things are going to happen for us, God. Continue to bless this ministry, God, that when people walk in this door, that they feel the presence of the Lord, that they leave here refreshed and rejuvenated. In Jesus' name we pray. We're believing that somebody's going to have a testimony of faith and deliverance, that their life was changed from this program. In Jesus' name we pray. If you believe God with me, say amen.
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 Listen, only right here bringing lyrics to life. We appreciate you. We out.